I did not have on my 2022 bingo card, Democrats' 2022 slogan, drag queen for the children. I didn't have that, but apparently this is what they've decided to run on is trans the kids, drag queens in every classroom. I'm amazed. I'm amazed. Maybe I shouldn't be, because this is actually what they believe. They've decided to, it's Pride Month after all, and they are proud of the fact that they wish for small children to be gender confused by sexually adolescent adults. And when I say sexually adolescent, I mean if you wish to purvey your sexual lives to children, this means you're kind of adolescent. It just does. I'm not even talking about what kind of sex you wish to have. I'm saying if you wish to parade your gender identity before children, it's because you're a narcissistic adolescent. Anyway, Mayor Eric Adams of New York City, he tweeted, drag storytellers and the libraries and schools that support them are advancing a love of diversity, personal expression, and literacy that is core to what our city embraces. It is core to being a New Yorker. Drag queens in the classroom, reading to your kids, that is the core. Because did you know that only drag queens can read? Were you on, I know, you thought, wait a second, I thought the literacy rate in the United States is actually really, really high, and virtually everybody who's an adult can read. I mean, isn't that sort of the predicate to living in a Western civilized society? Like, I thought, actually, all over the world, most people can read. Like, I thought that that's been sort of common for, a century or so. No, it turns out only drag queens can read, which is why you need them in the classroom to read to your kids, well, dressed up in drag, according to Mayor Eric Adams. So the theme in New York is push people in front of the subway and drag queens in the classroom. Why are people moving to Florida? I don't understand. Why? We need to build a wall here in Florida and keep the New Yorkers out. Adams, he goes, drag storytellers, the libraries and schools that support them are advancing a love of diversity, personal expression, and literacy that is core to what our city embraces. By the way, got to point out in this statement, personal expression. Why is love of personal expression important to children? The personal expression, not of the children, by the way, the personal expression of the adults. First of all, I'm not generally of the opinion that the personal expression of kids is the paramount concern in raising them. Because kids express themselves in a variety of idiotic ways, including screaming at their parents, trying to hit people, pooping on the floor, etc. Personal expression among small kids typically does not take the form of writing novels. Nonetheless, Eric Adams continues at a time when our LGBTQ plus minus divided by sign unhappy but happy emoji communities are under increased attack across this country. We must use our education system to educate. The goal is not only for our children to be academically smart, but also emotionally intelligent. And nothing says emotional intelligence like confusing 5-year-olds about what kind of clothes are good for boys to wear. That's what education is all about, gang. Kids in New York City are either being aborted or they're being brought up in schools where they can't read. But the important thing is they know that some dudes like to wear women's clothing. That's vital, vital stuff happening in New York City, America's greatest city. And here's the thing. The government just wants to make sure that anybody who fights this sort of stuff is silenced. It's very important that it be silenced. So, for example, the Daily Wire now reports that Kamala Harris is going to be heading up a new White House task force aimed at addressing online harassment and abuse. Now, I know you're thinking, didn't we just do this like 5 minutes ago with that disinformation governance board that was run by that crazy lady, like the crazy theater kid who was singing Mary Poppins songs about disinformation? That one? And we stopped it? Nope, you didn't stop it. They just brought it back with the greatest of all politicians, Kamala Harris. She is so great at this. Man, she's amazing at this. Hey, how amazing is she at this? Well, yesterday, she was out there talking about the importance of the internet, and the predictive text mechanism that is Kamala Harris had some words.
Well, the internet is an essential part of life in the 21st century. Can't get around it. Can't get around without it.
Profound words. Profound words from Vice President Google. That's, she's great at this. The task force, according to Thursday's announcement, plans to address all online harassment and disinformation, but will also specifically focus on the disproportionate online harassment faced by women and girls and people within the LGBTQ plus minus divided by sign weird eggplant emoji community. The White House issued a press release detailing the task force creation and a number of its objectives going forward. Today, President Biden will sign a presidential memorandum establishing the White House task force to address online harassment and abuse, responding to the need for government leadership to address online harms, which disproportionately affect women, girls, people of color, LGBTQIA plus minus peach emoji of individuals. The press release stated, Going on to note that the task force would include Attorney General Merrick Garland and Surgeon General Vivek Murthy, among others. So people said a mean thing to me online. Get the Attorney General on the line. Get him on the line. I mean, they're firebombing pro-life clinics over here. He's busy, man. Somebody said that a boy is a boy online. We've got to stop that. Got to nip that in the bud. And the Surgeon General, we need him on board. That idiot who thinks that it's time to triple vax infants. We need his input. This is a health issue. The task force's primary goal will be to, quote, produce recommendations for the federal government, state government, technology platforms, schools, and other public and private entities to prevent and address technology-facilitated gender-based violence, including a focus on the nexus between online misogyny and radicalization to violence. The task force was also to be instrumental in, quote, developing programs and policies to address the disproportionate impact of online harassment upon blah, 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 acronym. So the White House was asked about this. Karine Jean-Pierre, our incompetent, brand new White House press secretary, who is super incompetent, but also very intersectional. She could not explain why this is any different than the disinformation board that was just killed.
On the online policy task force that the vice president's leading, that's getting kicked off today, on a background call last night, we were told that it's going to be different from the disinformation governance board in that it's going to focus on illegal conduct online. But the memo creating it was a little bit broader and mentioned, and I'm quoting from the document, quote, online harassment, abuse, and disinformation campaigns targeting women and LGBTQI plus individuals who are public and political figures. Could you clear up the disinformation charge?
So I would need to talk to her team. I was not on the background call, so that specific language that you're providing to me, I would just have to check in with her.
No, we don't. We have no idea. Does she even know what's going on at the White House? Does she even know? Or is like this entire charade about bringing out a human who's intersectional to just be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then we're like, oh my God, she's amazing at her job. I mean, after all, she has qualifications, very significant qualifications, like tweeting crazy conspiracy theories about the 2008 gubernatorial election and also being kind of anti-Semitic about boycott, divestment, and sanctions. And also she is black and a lesbian. So, I mean, let's be real. That's real. I mean, that's what matters most here. Again, if she were competent in her job, that'd be one thing, but she obviously is not. But beyond that, if you think that this White House is not interested in censoring your ability to express yourself online, counter to the prevailing views of the left, wrong you are. I know what you're thinking. It's time to binge some more Ben Shapiro videos. Well, you are right. You should. But first, like and subscribe. Perfect. I'll see you in the next video.